Hello, fourth grade. We are going to be looking at our lesson on averages today. So, averages. When we think about averages, you might be going like, well, where am I going to use averages? Every semester, every quarter, when I tabulate your report cards, we use averages. And averages is just a way to describe a set of data using one number. So what is that number? How do we find that number? Well, let's look at this example. If I had 4 marbles in one row and 6 marbles in another row, and then the last line had 5 marbles, I'd say the average is 5. Well, let's see, how did I get 5? Well, we start to look and we say we want to have the same number in each row or the same number in each column. So in order to do that, whoopsie, hold on a second. I want to not have my pen yet. Let's go back to here. Let's erase that. All right. So in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to take 1 and move it into this column up here, or into this row. Now I have equal columns and equal rows. So when I say what's the average amount I have in a line, the average amount I have in a line is 5 because every row has 5 when I move that green one up to the top row there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It wouldn't be 3 because I'm not looking at up and down. I said I had it in a line. The line's going left to right. So, and 4 and 5 and 5, if I have 4, 5, and 5, my average wouldn't be 3. That's too low because none of them are, they're all above 3. So when I find an average, I want to look at them and say, okay, how can I even them out? Averaging, you want to even them out so each group has the same amount. And that's how I could even that one out. Now, let's look at a different example when we find averages. Let's say we want to find the average of books that somebody read or that people read in a month. So we're looking for the average number of books that somebody or that people read in a month. All right, so we have 2 steps to find our averages. Instead of drawing out pictures, we can do this by doing some mathematical equations. So we have adding up the numbers in the data first. So I have a 4, a 7, and a 10. I'm going to add those up first. Then we divide by the amount of numbers we added. We have 1, 2, 3 numbers, so that means I'm going to divide by 3. So first I add them up. Add them up, 4 and 7. I don't know why it keeps going out. Let's do it again. Does not want to stay. Okay, let's try this again, see if it'll work. 4 and 7 is 11, and then 10 more. So I add 4, 7, and 10, and I get 21. 1, 2, 3 numbers. Even if I take these 2 and put them together, it's still 3 numbers because I have 1 number here, 1 number here, 1 number here. So I take that 21 and I divide it by 3. How many 3's do I get out of 21? 7. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract and we have 0. So my average number of books is 7. Okay? And if I decided to draw a picture like that, I would have 4 in this row. I would have 7 in this row. I would have 10 in this row. All right, we even run out of space there. So I want to start by moving the 10s around a little bit. So I would take one of these off and I'd move it up here. I'd take one of these off and move it up here. Now I have one more of these left, so I'd take that one off and move it up here. And now they have the same amount in each row. And I would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can physically move things around and make a picture of it. Or we can do step 1 and step 2. Add up the digits, or add up the numbers, and then divide by the number of numbers we added up. Okay, we're going to look at a different example of that. What is the average of 29 35, 10, 31, whoopsie, and 25. Okay? So we're going to start by adding up all these numbers. 9 and 5 is 14, plus 1 more is 15, plus 5 more is 20. My 0 goes down here. My 2 goes up in the next column. 2 and 2 is 4. 3 more is 7. 7 and 1 is 8. 8 and 2 is 10. And 3 more is 13. So I have 130 there. I'm going to re-add them just quickly. 9 and 1 is 10. 5 and 5 is 10. So 10 and 10 is 20. Carry my 2. 5 and 5 is 10. Plus 3 more is 13. All right, that worked. Now, how many numbers did I add up? Okay, I don't know why this wants to skip over to that. Let's see. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, so I'm dividing by 5. All right, so I take my 130 and I divide it by 5. How many 5s can I get out of 13? 2, that goes on top. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract. I have a 3 brother in town, so bring him on down. How many 5s can I get out of 30? 6. Roof times the door ends up on the floor. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 minus 30 is 0. No other brother in town to bring on down. So we have 26 as our average. So our average of this set would be 26. Okay? Let's try one more example together, and then you can work on your averaging worksheet that I sent you. All right. So let's say we have 3 different classrooms. One classroom has 24 students, one classroom has 26 students, and another classroom has 28 students. What is the average number of students per classroom? So we start by adding up the data we have. 4 and 6 is 10, plus 8 more is 18. Carry my 1. 2, 4, 6 plus 1 is 7. I have 78. Now I need to do the second step. The second step is divide by the number of numbers. So I have 78 divided by 1, 2, 3. So 78 divided by 3. 3 classrooms, that's where I get my 3 from. How many 3s can we get out of 7? 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Bring our brothers down. How many 3s can we get out of 18? 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract, and we have 0. So our average here would be 26. 26 students per classroom is the average. All right? So that is the way that you figure out averages. Add up the numbers you have there in your data, and then divide by the number of numbers that you added up. And that is our lesson for today. And I will see you back tomorrow.